quickly make sure my camera's not in an absolutely idiotic spot today. It would not be the first time, it won't be the last time that it's in a bad spot. No, it's actually in a beautiful spot. There is no UI there. Beautiful. Okay. Good. Good. I don't want anybody missing anything important. I might get killed by something that's behind my head. But you know what? That's on me. You guys don't need to see what's killing me. Just know that I'm dying in a miserable death. Okay, I think I've got everything playing ball now. Just had a bit of a mild juggle there. There we go. Where was I and what was I doing? Right. Finding out where the next core I needed to open was. Yes, you're very subtle there in your red robe there, buddy. I completely can't see you at all. Of course, this is a hell of a question to ask somebody out of the blue, too. It's like, hey, have you seen any giant golden orbs falling out of the sky around here? Yes, yes, thank you for being generous. You lost a lot of people. Can't provide. She's separated. Okay. I mean, it makes sense to take to farming if you can't handle or don't want to handle all the hunting life. That's pretty much how your humanity evolved, so that is a sensible transition. This is very self-aware. I feel like I have to go for that. Okay, so it still leads to the fertilizer either way. Because when I was testing this, I had actually gone through all this dialogue already. But apparently the save was before the dialogue, so we're going back through this right quick. Yeah, I'll go remind your friend that he's supposed to do a thing. Ooh, this chest was much better this time. Huh. Hey, Farmer Bob, why you got a dead guy in your back lawn here? Couldn't you have at least had the decency to bury him? And no, I didn't know that was there. I actually apparently missed that last time I was here, so it's good that I ended up having to do this again. Bandit Chief, huh? Interesting how he has no real markings. And he also is wearing the same color robes as the people who aren't bandits. Interesting, interesting. Yeah, that's incredibly suspicious. Ooh, he's got masks. I still hadn't gotten a replacement for my mask yet. Any mask replacements you get enhance your ability to dodge. Claw replacements, of course, improve your attack, and rib replacements give you a better defensive ability usually. Why does he have this? Some real odd stuff going on with this farmer. I get that he used to be a nomad wandering around, probably picking up all kinds of crap, but it still seems real dodgy to me. I don't... That's one thing I don't remember immediately. I don't see how much essence I have to spend. And it's not cut off anywhere because I see the edges of the window. Weird. What do these do? Controllable dash that drops mines. I'm intrigued. You have my attention. But I don't know how much money I have. Not much. The purple orb up there in the upper left tells us how much essence we've got right now. Since essence is split between upgrading my core, which is what affects how many runes I can carry in my person at a time to enhance myself, and it's also currency, it ends up being a bit of a trade-off here and there. I'm just not going to buy anything right now. I'm sure we'll find masks and ribs and all that good stuff out in the wild just fine. If not, we can always come back with more money. 3 skull warm gorge. Oh, okay, never mind. The 3 skulls are just, this is an area with combat. I hadn't really paid attention to that till now. Seemed like a good idea to check to see if that was a difficulty indicator. Oh, there's... I guess the bandits do wear red. I could have swore the guy who was telling us about the bandits before said they wore something else. Wait, no, it was the high-tech guys that wore blue. The regular primitives wear red. And I don't think they mentioned the color for the bandits now that I think about it more. I think I may have just decided that the high-tech guys were evil in my head at the time. Oh. We got a recipe for a stomach. Good. Yeah, game, we've been dealing with essence for like an hour in my test. Why are you only now choosing to tell me about essence? Interesting. The tutorial in this game has been inconsistent, to say the least. Like, it's definitely got set times where they're supposed to trigger, instead of necessarily your first encounter with the concept. To me, I think it should be the first time you encounter a concept, the game will give you the information about that concept, and then you move on with your life. But I get that it's probably harder to design than it may sound. What was I looking for? Oh yeah, I can't craft in my own inventory, right? I went to see if I could see what the recipe for that gut was, but I didn't immediately see it. I may have just not looked in the right tab, though. Now, if I can just kill one of these things in the correct way, I'll demonstrate another mechanic. Specifically the autopsy mechanic, where you can get more material from something. And I believe it gives you more information on the target, but I can't guarantee that, because I've not experienced enough of this game yet. And you'll notice the Nomad's got some stars over his head. Enemies that successfully hit you will gain a buff that makes them more dangerous. This game is very focused on dodging more than soaking hits and trying to survive that way. And what you just saw me do to him there, they can do to us. If I place my healing item down and don't break it before they do, they'll heal, and I won't. But it can that can go both ways, as you saw there. Which reminds me, I should switch off of the Jar of Essence so I can actually, you know, heal. Probably a good idea. I've got the Nomad Needles right now. Those are probably fine. Especially since we're finding them just about everywhere. Don't want the enriched water there because it won't help me. Yeah, because my journal's only got information about my current quests. I don't think this game has a bestiary or anything, or at least not in inventory bestiary. There may be a character that'll tell me about that. I may as well upgrade my core and grab a slot for this other might upgrade I've got now. Because we need to be better at killing, because things are doing too good a job of being able to kill us. Gotta level the playing field. Whoa, hello. What are you? Aside from something that needs to die. Just hang loose a minute while I deal with your friends, and I'll deal with you. As you've probably caught on, every attack you have has a charged version you can do. Aside from consumable attacks, of course. And depending on the weapon you have, your charge attack will do something different. Right now we've just got basic claws, so they just do extra damage in an area, and I think this one has marking? But don't quote me on that. I was hoping to autopsy that, but I did a little too much cutting. Now, that cracking you see on my screen is an indication that our health is getting real bad. Which is unfortunate. I don't entirely agree with this being a mechanic they do, but I kind of get the idea behind it, so I won't protest it too much. Oh, 3 data keys. I'm glad I didn't bother to buy one. It's just a needle. Okay. Just making sure I didn't miss anything going through those hallways, because you don't know what out of this will be useful. At least I don't. Oh, right, I'm just down to water, which is going to heal them. Which, you know, that's what you want. You want to heal the enemies that are trying to kill you. Make friends, then they won't kill you anymore. Which, not gonna lie, that has been a mechanic before. Sadly, don't think it'll work here. So instead, we'll just make friends with their organs, and that'll probably be better for us overall anyway. The healing item that you start with is pretty powerful, though, because it gives you 40 health a second once you trigger it. I forget exactly how long it lasts, but with a cap of only 500, it does not take much to put you back in fighting shape. You just have to be very, very careful not to run out of your existing health bar, because as you can see from those hearts there, you have a limited amount of times you can get away with that. Because each time your health runs out, you break one of the organs you have equipped. And if you don't have any organs left, you die. I've not died yet, but I'm presuming, based on what the game has tutorialed me of that concept, that that's how that works. As you might imagine, gonna endeavor to make that not happen at all, but it's going to happen. I've already lost a couple organs. So death is an inevitability, I would say. But I do know that there are mirrors that are or checkpoints. But I believe they only keep the concept of your life up until the point where you went to that mirror. So as it currently stands, I feel like I might lose a bunch if I don't find another mirror soon. Because the last mirror I went to was a good 3 areas before where I am now. Still don't have any new parts. 1% chance to ignite? No. Interesting idea, but I'm not gonna swap out straight damage for a 1% chance. That doesn't seem that worthwhile to me. I opened this menu for a reason. Why did I open it? I think I just wanted to check what I had. I have a bad habit of just constantly opening an inventory, going, what do I have? And then putting it away again. So I just immediately forget if I had a purpose for opening that. No. Nope. You stay over there. Ah, he's got rapid fire. That's a problem. I thought he was going to go the other way with that. Turns out I was wrong. Oh yeah, and if a attack would actually hit you and your iframes take it on your dodge, it will tell you above your head that you've actually dodged it, which is handy. There are a lot of times where iframes can be a little unclear. So I appreciate that concept. Now, this guy's already hit 2 stars, so we need to get rid of him, like, now. Otherwise, he was going to become a real problem. Well, guess we're not going to get much fertilizer from this guy. I don't know. He apparently had the information on him, so the job will get done either way. Wait, really? Apparently all 10 bags were just there. Why have it be 10 bags if it's just in one spot? Why not just have one bag? I guess it might have been a fake out in the quest log, make you think you're going to have more work to do than you actually do. Which, in that case, they accomplished exactly what they went for with that. So I was certainly fooled. Now, of note, you'll see me stopping frequently when I'm attacking. That's because that yellow meter you see above my health bar is stamina. As a created herald of a deity, you'd think we wouldn't have that much of a problem there, but you can actually run out of stamina rather quickly, so you want to manage that carefully, or you will just sit there and lose everything. That's how I lost my first couple organs when I was learning the combat system initially. Which I still need to go back and get those fixed, too. But we haven't unlocked the ability to do that as far as I've seen. Also, what did that say? Someone shady came by today, and I think he was following me, looked all over our farm, asked about fertilizer. Go with the others to meet the strangers and pick up the product. They'd be camped there. Okay. Oh, I wasted a couple days going the wrong way because I didn't bother to pay attention because I assumed we had what we needed. Well, this could end poorly. Let that be a lesson. Always read what's going on. How do you expect me to get there in 3 days? That seems... No, it is apparently 2.25 days to get there. Okay, game, you know better than I do right now. I will choose to trust you for this. Ooh. I found a lair, and apparently the nomads have gotten in new stock. I should turn around and go check on them after dealing with this. I would turn around first, but you know, time limits. Don't really want to throw away this quest just because of what they potentially will have for me. Considering I'm kind of broke, that seems like it wouldn't be the wisest of choices for me. Still a little confused by the weird meerkat creatures. And as you might guess, the purple meters next to enemies is their health bars. Why it's purple? Don't really know. Not the biggest concern. Ooh. That will be incredible. Okay, it keeps mentioning the biomat to create organs. That must be in the hub. We just need to build a bridge to it first. Because the first bridge it allowed me to build gave me access to making new cores for myself, so logic follows for that. We are not doing great. I'm just going to keep backpedaling until the healing kicks in enough to keep us from losing too much here. Nope, still have water equipped. That was what I went to the menu for. That's a hell of a time to remember that. No, you ain't running from me. There is no escape from the void. Be one with the void. Join us. Also, if the spinning animation looks really janky, that's because it is. They kind of skipped a step there, and I completely understand. Because more or less what's going on there is it's only got a couple sprites, more or less. So they end up only having it be shown facing one of 4 directions. And they just did a quick blur animation switching between them, so it's not super obvious, but after a bit, it does tend to stand out. Now, I can't help but notice that shotgunner can gain a lot of stars really fast, because each bullet from him apparently counts towards giving him an attack buff. So these are incredibly dangerous. And our stamina's not being a friend here. Get the feeling we walked into territory we shouldn't be in. Okay, I can break projectiles with my knives. That's good to know. Do I have... That's the wrong button. Do I have anything I can throw at them? Because, I need to throw something bigger. Sure, yeah, disintegration sounds like it'll be useful, except it's not actually going to disintegrate them at all, but worth it anyway. Tabula rasa broke. Great. Great. I'm glad to have less things. Oh my god, that is a lot of stars. That's... Ooh. Ooh. No, you ain't healing. You ain't getting to hide in a corner and heal. That's my job. Only I may cheese. Oh, you're still alive. I had to wonder why you were unaccounted for suddenly. Oh yeah, and there are, as you just saw there, some instant heal items. I have medkits for emergencies like this. But this guy hits just so damn hard that even at full health, he's destroying organs. So we have no organs left now. Oh boy. We're in a spot. Hopefully this meeting's not too bad, because otherwise we will probably find out what it means to die. But we may as well get the loot that we nearly died for. Hopefully it's worth it. That seems unlikely to have been worth the amount of damage we took. Well, it just means I'll help back to the hub after this and see if we can open up the biomat. Though when I was at the hub last, it wouldn't let me add any... That doesn't seem good. This seems like it's very quickly going to be... They're going to try to blast me. Yeah. They are immediately hostile to me for reasons... Though that explains why some of these nomads have things that they really don't seem like they should have. The good news is it seems like they're not on the same side, so they're trying to kill each other, too. Best to make as much of an advantage of that as I can. Pick off both sides. I disagree, but okay. Here, go hang out with each other. I really dislike the look of those bullets he's got. I get the feeling they are going to be a problem. Okay. They've got red glass knives. Nest calling Viper. Report on operation status. Viper reporting. Red farmers didn't accept the product. So they're responsible for the infection that's been bringing people back to life. Now, of course, I say it as bringing them back to life, but this dimension we're in right now has been having a serious outbreak of zombies. Not the good kind of back to life. Specifically, plant-based zombies. From what I saw previously, I would assume that it's not so much your typical zombie, it's more the plant inhabits the body and puppets it around. And in a kind of symbiotic situation. There's of course no guarantee of any of that since we haven't encountered them yet, but that's the best logic I can pull together, or based on what other NPCs have told us. Nope, ran out of things that hurt them again. And I can't just run away, can I? Because it's going to tell me it's blocked. Yep, okay, this is gonna be a thing then. What does this do? Okay, it heals me, that's good news. No buffs from it, though. Okay. This is what happens when you have too many items in your inventory and don't bother to memorize what all of them do. That is the charge ability on my defensive item right now. I can put down a spike, which I keep forgetting I can do, and man, that's a lot more useful than that's a lot more useful than I was giving it credit for being. Yeah, a lot more, yeah. Word's good. I'm gonna need to use that a lot more. The reason why I wasn't using it is it hurts me if I make contact with it, too. So it's kind of dangerous to make use of. But considering our situation, I think that was worth the gamble. Ooh, that wasn't, though. This thing is real beefy. Yes, thank you. I know that my things can break, and I'm assuming he's telling me that because my claw is about to break off my hand. Oh, they saw that coming. Okay. That's one. Yeah, if you hear that womp womp noise, that's me trying desperately to keep attacking when my stamina's run out. Okay. We pulled through that. Got a lot of good stuff, hopefully. At least I'm assuming that stuff's good. Do I have anything left to work with? Got nets. Okay, these are just fast healing. That's good to have, but that's not really going to help me right now. Then again, none of these will help me right now. Good. Good, I'm glad. Let's make use of these better knives for now to compensate for our situation. I get this distinct impression, though, that bringing back the fertilizer is going to be a bad idea. And I'm assuming something very bad is going to happen. Actually, wait, no. Didn't that say 10 days before, and now it says 12? Either way, we're gonna go back and see the nomads for a moment. See if they've got anything worthwhile out of that new stock they said they got. Not gonna hold my breath waiting for anything particularly good, but hopefully something to replace my many damaged parts. Nope, he's not gonna do me a solid and suddenly be selling organs. I will buy all of your knocks. And as you see there, they react to every different balance of the trade you're making. So if you offer them a real bad trade, they will get upset. I don't think it mechanically does anything. They just complain a lot right here. Unfortunately, I can't see what I'm equipped with currently, so I don't know what condition my Reaper Claw is in. I can only assume that it's not doing great. This seems like a really good claw. So we'll go ahead and put that on the deal too. It just hit me what this music reminds me of. It almost sounds exactly the same as the music for RimWorld. I'd been listening to it this whole time, and it only just now clicked. And I always appreciate this bit right here, where it just straight up tells you, hey, this can be sold to merchants. It doesn't have any other better purpose. Just get rid of it. Saves me pack ratting it into hell and gone. Because as anyone who saw me play Bloodstained can attest, I will sit on a copy of everything in the game just because I don't know when it'll come up again. And, you know, things. Must have all of the things. I don't really want any of these other things he's got, so I'll just buy a couple more traps. Yeah, you know what, I'd rather you decide I'm generous than decide I'm mocking you. At least for now. Ignoring the fact that I could crush him at any given moment. Okay. So once the wear maxes out, it can snap in half at any time. Okay. Well, we're just gonna get rid of that for the moment. I'll hang on to it in case I break the other one just as an emergency weapon for now. But at least we've got a much more robust set of equipment to work with for the time being. Okay. Before I drop off the fertilizer, I'm going to hit up this other mirror over here in case the worst happens when we go to deal with that fertilizer situation. Because for all I know, this guy's been raising zombies this whole time. Howdy, Brandon. Appreciate you coming by. Okay. Now let's go see what disaster unfolds when I give him this fertilizer. I get the feeling that this is going to tank my world karma, because this is probably a very bad move on the whole, but... Okay, that literally is just counting how many days I've been in this area. Okay. I thought that was counting down because I wasn't paying that much attention. Turns out it's counting up. This is quite the random encounter. Ah, okay. When they go underground, they can hit me in the feet as I pass. That's concerning. These claws also have a bit shorter reach than the old ones. That's a good move, though. I like that. I like that move. Yeah, I would honestly say the biggest weakness for this game thus far seems to be that your combat will get kind of samey. It'll be varied up a little bit by the different weapons, but they don't change the inherent combat. It seems to mostly still be a 3-hit swipe combo, no matter what you've got. Which, that's fine. From what I've seen, the focus is more on what they've written than necessarily how the actual core gameplay goes, and that's fine. That's got an inherent value on its own. Oh, okay, you can see the encounter coming if you're paying attention. And they sleep at night. Nice. More than likely in other dimensions that will not be true. Because right now our main purpose is to go to each of... I think it's... I don't remember how many dimensions. I'm not going to misquote a number. Point being, all of the dimensions in this reality are collapsing into the abyss because of the actions of someone else. We were created in order to fix the fact that all of them are being dumped into the abyss, and failing that, we are to create an entirely new reality, bringing as many along with us as possible. Okay, I guess when I've been buying things, I've been getting ahead of the tutorial curve, since it's only now teaching me about how claws work. Okay, these are different claws, though. They're battle claws. Hmm. Okay, now we just need to get to the beta core. Each core we reach lets us descend deeper into what's left of each of these dimensions in order to fix it. But before we go there, I'm going to head on back to the alpha dimensional pier, and we can use that to head back to the hub. I mean, I probably could have used the beta pier in hindsight, but eh. This one I know works. Back up here on the Foundation Pier is where the hub is. It's also seen better days, because it used to be a city, and large portions of it has also been thrown down into the abyss. This here's Viticus. He's supposed to be advising us, but he's not the most useful. Yeah, the city is named right there, Arcabon. Dharma's the only one who didn't fall into the abyss. We, of course, didn't fall into the abyss because we were created after the shift that started making everything fall. And this is the Keeper. She's the reason why we know where we're going at all. She's a bit stuck in that rock because it was the only way to keep her alive, though. So we're also working on fixing that. Are you going to let me put any more bridges yet, or are you still going to not give me any answers as to why that doesn't work? Because I should be able to place a bridge here, but it's not letting me. So, considering it had to prompt me to build the first bridge, I would only assume I don't have access to building that yet, because I haven't done what the game wants. Okay, yeah, that's actually a list of all the dimensions, I guess. We can get to Lutenland. The rest of the dimensions are pretty much ruined. Void space is where we came from. We were created by the Dimensional Guardian of the Void out of spare parts falling down into there. And as you saw there, our purpose in doing this is to build mass for a new reality. So coming here was kind of pointless. Oh well. It was worth checking. And of course, if anybody knows that I'm actively missing something, by all means let me know for the sanity of all involved. Go get the next core. Because the other hindsight that kicked me as soon as I did that is any new mechanics would probably trigger when I get the next core. Oh, it looks like there might be wandering merchants because these guys have a deal symbol over their head. Let's find out about that before I go in there, actually. Yeah, I can trade with these guys. Why are you saying it's a fight? Game? Are you deceiving me? Are they going to try to murder me when I try to make a deal? No, okay, just lists as a fight. Okay, good. Okay, there are different weapons. Because these have 2-strike combos. And these have projectiles. Okay. I'm into it. Become invisible and immune. Okay, good. That gives me hope that there's a lot more going on here than was initially coming off. You would think by now I would know better than to believe Steam reviewers who are saying that there's not much going on with something. Just means they didn't actually dig in. Hey Zeno, how are you doing? And welcome to the show. So far, hanging in there. Getting mildly confused by the game, but that's to be expected. I don't think there's anything I want out of in here. These are interesting ideas, but they're very expensive. Does the other one have a different shop? Nope, they sell the same? No. They are just selling conveniently very similar things. Yeah, being deliberately obtuse is a problem, but it's as much I'm not paying as much attention as I should, as it is also being a little obtuse. Okay, we're locked in here now. Okay, something is not right with these guys, considering the effect around them. Oh, he stole my heal. Bastard. Oh boy. Oh, stuck. I had a feeling I was walking into something bad when I got here, but I did not expect it to be this bad. Yeah. You would think the one out to save the universe would be popular, but they're not about that idea, as it turns out. They're really not for it. Though, judging from how they look, I'm actually hazarding to guess that they're defensive constructs for the core I'm trying to get to. They can be really interesting as long as they come off well. This has had a few times where it doesn't feel the best, but I really am enjoying the way it's drawn and the way it's written. So it's ending up worth it overall. It's also not too expensive. I want to say on Humble it's like 13 or 14 right now, and on Steam it'd be like 17. Okay, getting tired of them shooting my healing item the second it hits the ground. I know it's my timing, but man, getting old. Okay, that one's dealt with. Ooh, timed that one wrong. Well, that's the first actual death. Okay, what do we got? Okay, looks like nothing bad happened. Yeah, it looks like when we went back to the hub, it saved as if we went to a mirror, so that's actually fantastic. They did a brilliant job with this game's art. I need to find out who the artist for this is, because they are very good at what they're doing. There are some very freaky things in here, but it's still all well done. Exactly. Because that means it still gets to you, which means it's getting its point across well. Okay, so if it's gonna be that bad a fight, I'm gonna hit up the nomads before I go there and see if we can get a hold of a few more things to work with. Because that is clearly a step up in difficulty, even from the fights we've had up to now. It's either that or I go back to that merchant that had that stealth suit and see if I can scrape together the essence to buy it. About the only art failing I'll point out is they only made 4 facing sprites for our Herald of Void here. But that's a reasonable shortcut to take with how much motion you have. It's not really too big a thing. Give me all of your healing items. Fair. We've both been through that, I'm sure. I know there's been multiple times where I'll look at something days later and go, I could have moved that. And that could have been a little bit over more things of that nature all the time. Like on the one image I was using as an icon for the longest time, I only realized like a few weeks later that the one shoulder's like half a body further out to one side than it should be, and it just looks so weird once you look at it too close. You know, coding is an art form in and of itself too, and it can be just as aggravating. It's the old blacksmith story of you fold it into the middle of the piece you made so no one will notice, but you know it's there, so it drives you crazy anyway. I've definitely been there. Actually, in hindsight, no. Give me the minimum damage, because I get the feeling it's the fact that I'm rolling low on my attacks that's giving me these issues with them not dropping. Exactly. Making it for yourself, you give yourself a little more leeway because, you know, you're the only one counting on it. But when you're making it for somebody else, you hold yourself to that higher standard. Though I am completely guilty of being too much of a perfectionist at times, just in general. There have been many a piece I've thrown away just because it did not quite look as good as I wanted, so I just binned the whole thing. I get the feeling sometimes that it's a universal truth for artists. You've just managed to throw away something you've spent hours on just because it didn't quite give you what you want. Which I suppose we still get something out of it in the end, because we learned along the way there. Even if it can be frustrating. Actually, yeah, I can afford the other upgrade, so why am I switching a rune when I can just put in more? What? What do you mean beep? Oh, because it didn't take the upgrade yet. Okay. Sassy damn inventory system. Beeping at me just because I didn't press enough buttons. Nope, we still haven't unlocked organ fixing. More than likely, it's behind that core we just died on before you got here. And yeah, I could definitely see ending up having to shuffle through colors dozens of times to try to get it just right. Okay, I'm gonna go to this mirror in the hopes that it saves when I go to this mirror, even though we've already been to this one. Because I'm still not 100% sure how the mirrors work. I'm assuming they checkpoint when you go to them. Especially since this is not the mirror we were at last. Where is it, though? Oh, did them? Oh, there it is. Oh, yeah. I've definitely lost most of an entire night before going to sleep staring at a single piece. I've even spent over an hour just staring at what to make the palette for it. Like I've lost ridiculous amounts of time just on deciding a palette ahead of time, and I'm starting to think I should just give up on that concept as a whole and just fix it as I go. I can imagine. Were you trying to decide what kind of tail to put on it, or was it just a matter of just trying to get just the right shape on it? Fair. Because you could have a good shape, but it's not the shape you want, so you end up getting rid of it anyway. Okay, let's try this again. Now equipped a little better and actually carrying the throwable that I intended to be using. Wow, that went immediately worse. Because for some reason, Brain thought, oh, it's a bullet. I'm going to catch it. That sounds like a good thing to do. Send help. Brain needs new processor. I'll get there eventually. Might not be the third time, but we will get through this. Hey, Allie, I'm doing alright. How about you? Appreciate it and enjoy, Allie. Ah, good. I was wondering what that synthetic patch had done, because I didn't see the notes on it when I saw it come up. I'm assuming by now the notes are probably up. I appreciate the follow. That's fair. I still need to join that Discord. There's a bunch of games Discords that I should really be in for how much I play them, and then I'd never actually bother to join them. Fair. If I joined every Discord for a game I've played or own, I don't think I'd ever be able to tell what's going on anymore. Yeah, I'm sure you understand that problem all too well. Even if you mute half of them, you'll just be deafened by Discord pings forever. Yeah, absolutely. Ooh, he's a scary looking one. That didn't hit him. I have great concerns. Bear trap? That didn't do anything either. Are you a mirage? Hello? Oh, it wants to talk to me. Sure. Yeah. It's iffy between what the goal of a streamer's personal Discord is. Usually it's for the community, but there are some that seem to think it's only a way for everybody to praise them instead of actually, being around each other with just the commonality of they watch this person. You walk across the desert and encounter a nomad. His cape's an unusual color, one you haven't seen before. He's stuck in a trap. mean, the trap is obviously stuck in him, so he can't be faking that much. So I'd be inclined to help them, but it does sound like a trap. Okay, so he was not expecting that answer. And yeah, I was chatting with her for a bit on Twitter as well, which is how I got pulled into the small streamer Discord. Glad I showed up, though. I will say that. That has far exceeded my expectations. Okay, now I fight him. Man, for a big guy, he moves pretty quick. Not anymore, though. Alright, big boy, let's dance. That's fair. Doesn't exactly make a secret of it, but if you don't look at the profile, you'd have no idea. Okay. That was not as bad as his 7 friends. There we go. The beta orb ascends to where it belongs. Possibly. Did I get any update about whether it made it where it's going? Nope, he didn't say anything. So I'm going to assume it got where it belongs finally. Fair enough. I want to say I first started talking to her because I saw a prompt about her Discord. Some of them definitely make it pretty easy to get to know them. Doesn't look like there's anything nice hidden around in here. Should clean up my needles, though, because I'm going to need them. That would make sense, yeah. Get plenty of chances to find out what they're like. On both sides. Because not everybody acts the same when they're behind a when they're in front of the camera or when they're sitting there typing. But it's good that you found at least one good person. Likewise. I haven't found as many people yet, but I think that's more on my side because I've not been reaching out to people much. We'll get there. But I do appreciate those words. Fair enough, that is a pretty big jump for some people. Okay, now Viticus has something else for us. Almaroon came to the hub, made himself at home without asking. There we go. There's the biomat that we need. I I love making friends too, but I'm also just very uneasy meeting new people, as you might have caught. I don't know if that comes through as much anymore. Been working on that for a while. That's understandable. The more negative stuff you go through with people, of course you're not gonna easily trust people. You just gotta have more good experiences to give you examples to better believe in what other people are going to be. And unfortunately, that just takes a lot of time. It could easily just be a feeling based off of what their first impression with you is. Because some people just give off a real bad vibe right off the top. And some of those people that give off a bad vibe aren't bad. And some of the people who give off really good vibes right off the start are awful. There's certainly some damn good actors out there, unfortunately. I appreciate this line of dialogue because this is exactly what I would say here. Exactly. If they make you comfortable with how they're acting, of course you'll talk quicker. And even if you're not immediately comfortable, that's fine. As long as they're willing to work with you about that. That is a wise choice. Especially early, because it's like, why are you jumping straight to this? Your intentions clearly are only on that. Now, that is not necessary. Shoo shoo. Now, don't get me wrong, there are some people that just do that, and that's just part of how they act. But it's all context. Okay, so I connect my communicator and feed it the recipe, and then it'll give me what I'm looking for. You know, I get that I sound like this sometimes, but am I the only one who thinks that this is an incredibly unhelpful sentence? It's right here that this whole I've seen a lot and I know a lot, but I he doesn't actually give me anything to work with off of what he actually knows. That was probably a very good choice. Also, a good choice to keep that discussion where they can't make anything of it. Lord knows some people make a scene even if you just make the slightest nudge about being uncomfortable by them. Okay. It's a giant machine hole. And it's telling me to press a button. Obviously, I'm gonna press the button. This can only end well. Oh, okay. It's a world blender. Okay. Good. Go ahead and make the brain. A heart. Yeah, no, that is doubly a bad approach for anyone like that, and I'm not gonna lie, basically the same thing on my end. Anyone who works with me or knows me in person who has not spoken to me for a while will say that I do not say a word unless I have something important. But yeah, no, honestly, flirting as your first move, don't do it. Just don't do it. Even if you're in a place specifically for dating, just don't do it. Like, I don't think that's a wild suggestion to make. I think that's just a wise suggestion. I may not be much of a believer in small talk, but it's a better choice than immediately acting as if you've known someone for a long time, or acting like you can immediately go straight for or something further than just talking. Now I'm just gonna push that soapbox aside. Yeah, and something about Viticus that came up earlier but isn't going to be shown right now. He's actually part of a giant. His other eye and his body are both stuck in another dimension that's partially destroyed right now, and we can't get there yet. There's a lot of really unique creature choices and designs in here. Oh, I know. Our art block is the bane of my existence. But maybe the weird stuff you're seeing here might inspire something. You never know what might click just right. And when you see it. Hmm. Ah, that can be just as bad, yeah. And I'm assuming it's something you can't just pull up an easy reference image to at least get a base for it. Okay. So it's a lot more specific, so you can't really work too much with a baseline. That's a good way to go about it because it shows more of you in it. Even if it does make the road much, much longer for getting it done. Though, you might be able to take one of your existing emotes and see what ways you can tilt that towards looking more angry. It probably won't end up being the final version, but it may actually nudge you in the right direction as far as the idea you want. Because I found that you can get some really unique stuff just trying to take something existing and twist it as far away from its originally intended feel as possible. You get some really weird stuff that way, but you can get some really good stuff that way too. Okay, apparently that trader group has some good stuff. I'm gonna take a detour over there then. Yeah, because you don't want to force it too much or it won't be anywhere near as good. I've got my own pile of half finished work laying around. Some of which probably will never come back around, but better to let it sit there until something works out than to force it through. You know, for all that this guy was talking about having all kinds of weapons and equipment, he's really not got much. His advertising is a lie. What he does have is good, but I'm disappointed all the same. I mean, yeah, that is their purpose, is to get you to come over there. But you gotta be careful with that you don't trick them too much, or they're just going to burn your store down. I want at least one of these med packs, and yeah, just give me another one of those too. And a net, just so I don't give you too much free money. Which signal are you talking about, map? Oh, okay. That's not the actual trader that was just calling me. This trader is the one that was calling me. Never mind, his camp gets to live. He was not lying to me as much. I just read the wrong message. Oh god, I'm just as bad as the customers I get angry at now. I didn't read the sign. Well, This is my life now. That comes from a deep place. I mean, might still burn it down later, but they get a pass for now. They get a little bit more time. Okay, this advertising is accurate. He gets to live. Exactly. A live merchant can always get in new stock. A dead merchant can't get you anything. Though the immediate gains can be worth it. Exactly. They'll learn the lesson of not carrying junk. Because if you carry junk, the adventurer will murder you. Okay, so 3 strike, 3 strike, 3 strike. Okay, these are all 3 strike combo ones. Am I reading that right? Does that just straight up say 2.6% to kill chance? Does this claw have instant kill? That's a really low chance, but that could be interesting. I'm gonna tuck that away as a concept for later, but I'm not gonna spend 600 on something that only has a 3% chance if you round up to kill something. I'm more interested in a new chest plate. Because, man, do we need some more survivability. I like this idea, the temporary dodge all attacks. But I will take back one of those and give you this and a piece of dried meat in exchange. And I appreciate that what I sell him goes into his stock, so if I need it back at some point, I can get it. Though, man, is that a markup. So probably never getting those back, because I have no reason to get them back. Though if I really wanted to maximize my money, I should have actually sold those essence vials to a different merchant, because there's one that'll give me more than I would get if I used them. Because they can just be consumed to give me 100 essence straight up, but I want to say it was the nomads that would actually buy them from me for 125 instead of 100. Which, speaking of, we do actually have a prompt to go talk to them, so let's go see what they need. Or at least what they'll tell me. Okay, they didn't get in anything particularly interesting. Okay. So it's bait. I don't remember where we found that meat, but presumably somebody was trying to set something up. Which sounds incredibly vague, I know. This is on the way anyway, so I may as well see what Reek knows. This guy doesn't have a self-preservation instinct, does he? Yeah, sure, the Herald of the Void's no looker, but, this is not something you should be making fun of. This is really ill-advised. I could just kill him. He's lucky he's useful, or I would probably do it. That's fair. See, at least he's got a sense of humor about it being thrown back at him, so that's fine. I can accept that. And apologies if me bumping the mic there made a lot of racket. Okay. I still need to move some stuff around and make this setup a little bit better, because right now... Fair enough. But yeah, right now, if I back my hand away from the keyboard too fast the wrong way, I'm going to run straight into my mic arm. Because where you see my hand right now is resting on my desk right now. So, not exactly a ton of room there. Things are still very much in flux. Okay, so he ran into those guys that were peddling the fertilizer. Okay, so those suits they're wearing don't actually give them any serious advantages for mobility. Okay. Yeah, and I saw that Humble had a Black Friday sale going too. So if people are looking for cheap games, they should probably poke into that. I haven't looked at what is in there yet, so I don't know if it's got anything seriously valuable. Okay, so one of his animals jumped into a rift with them, and it's gone. I mean, if I see it, I'll bring it back. I don't mind. Okay. I wonder why that nomad was so desperate to get some bait that'll make hounds go mad. Right, they're basically scorpions. Right. I gotta say, I'm no small animal, and they're certainly trying to catch me all the time. Right, I've seen that. Of course, he doesn't like talking about killing the things he raises. That makes sense. And of course, there's not that wide an ecosystem here, considering one, it's a desert, two, the dimension is kind of collapsing, so it's a little harder on creatures to survive. Okay. Goovers are big plant creatures. Kind of like camels. Okay. And they're a source of water. I appreciate the amount of detail they've gone through to put all of this in. So you can find out all this background information about the ecosystem of each dimension and all that. It would probably help if I put the breastplate I bought on, wouldn't it? I've tried to go on that train of thought before, or because I've considered going into game design, and let me tell you, it can be a rabbit hole to try to follow sometimes. Because a lot of the time you'll end up following a train of thought and then realizing you have to backtrack all the way back to where you started to connect two separate parts together to make it coherent and actually consistent. So it ends up being a lot of back and forth trying to understand your own thought process enough to make sure people can get it. I enjoy thinking of stories. I don't exactly enjoy writing them myself. Because that very thing I was talking about tends to drive me crazy while I'm is if I'm gonna write it down, I want it to all be understandable for anyone who looks at it. And I find after a while that I just cannot achieve that level of clarity with my own thought process. Because that, as Eva O can attest, my thought process can be strange at times. Considering, the infinite mini bread situation. Which, to explain that one, at least at the base level, I was very tired the one night. Something looked like a breadstick that was being fired at us, so eventually the idea of missiles that split into smaller missiles turned into breadsticks that split into infinitely smaller breadsticks. That's the short version of where that thought process was going. Which sounds slightly more sane said that way. But there you go. That's the Reader's Digest version of that train of thought. But yeah, it not leaving your mind looking right is the other one. Because it makes sense in your head, and then as soon as you look at it afterwards, like, maybe that doesn't make as much sense anymore. Which might be a sign that it didn't actually make sense in the first place, and it might just be that the way you chose to write it out doesn't line up. Let's go find out what else is going on with the farmer. Ooh. Yeah, I can see how you'd want that to be as well done as possible, because the twist is probably the most important in part. Have you tried talking about other people with it? Maybe a different perspective will help you get past that block? I mean, I would assume in all that time you would have, but I've encountered a few times where people just never considered asking someone else's perspective on how something would go along. Because somewhere in between the two might be exactly what you want. I mean, it seems like a bit of a jump to go straight to torturing him, but at the same time, he's clearly hiding something. Okay, so he's always been a bandit. Yeah, it's not a long leap to assume that he's the short nomad that bought the meat. That's logical. We have seen that neurochip. Didn't necessarily say that he was the friend, but that makes sense too. And it's not a far leap of logic for the dead nomad in the back garden to be the original owner either. He easily could have talked to him before killing him and then took on his story as his own life. Okay, there's a bandit king. That makes sense. Okay, so that's how he was able to appear as actually being of that tribe. I want to know everything about this, though. Understandable, and I enjoyed talking to you too. Good luck with your drawing. Maybe once I get off here, if you're still having trouble, maybe I can offer some suggestions. If you'd like. If what he's telling me is the truth, he's just a coward. He's not actually bad. And he has tried to do some right, even while he's been doing a few awful things. And if he can actually make this farming thing consistent and work well, he actually could, in fact, save his species that way. So I'm willing to let him live on that logic. If he screws up again, I could always just come back and crush him. Of course, he has the gall to have a 100% markup after I've spared his life. I may or may not be immediately regretting this decision. Oh yeah, you would have just dematerialized him without even a second thought. But here's the thing, though. The very logic I've just outlined for you, I don't really think that's me being the kinder person. I think that's me just being pragmatic and deciding to let him live because he's useful. If I was letting him live to let him live, then sure, I'm the kinder person. In a way, I'm probably being crueler by making him continue this existence. I think that's a better punishment for him, all things considered. I don't know. He's got quite the row to hoe, so he may not feel that way after a few years. And I ain't coming back to fix it. Though that definitely wandered into deeper thoughts than I had intended that to, but that's what that's built to do. These are meant to be morality dilemmas, to a degree. Damn it, I have water equipped again. Okay, this new equipment is definitely good, considering we're tearing through these things much better than we were before. And my apologies if that got a bit darker in a line of thought than some people are comfortable with. I could definitely see that going a little over. That doesn't look good. Don't think that's working as intended. Okay, Damkar has the same stuff here, it looks, more or less. He's just also here. This guy's a little bit more. I keep being tempted by these ranged weapons, but they only give an ally boost as their charge shot, or at least this one does. And I don't really think I'm going to go into the whole ally idea. Wait, is that going to be Reek that this is talking about? Yep, Reek is the one who apparently knows where the damn thing is. Then why didn't he mention it when we were talking to him before? God damn it. I mean, it's only logical that he'd know something about where the orb from this pier went, considering he lives so damn close to it. Oh, so the core is what's making the animals go crazy. That makes sense. Anything that's making things real weird in an area for a while is going to upset the entire ecosystem. Wait. Where is it? Oh, it's... You know, there's a certain oddity to the fact that the... Okay, I'm going to just shift this slightly so I stop bumping into that. There we go. There's a certain oddity to the fact that the gamma core is right next to the beta pier. I assume these are keyed to each pier, otherwise I'd say why not just throw this one into the beta slot and be done with it. Pardon me a moment. Gotta work the neck a little bit. Keep it from getting stiff all over again. Okay. Hopefully that'll hold. Okay, we gotta fight core defenders again. Yeah, sure, I dodge all attacks for a bit. Yep, that's working out great for me. I don't know if it's just a real short window or what, but it did not work so far. Okay, that was the last bottle of water, so I shouldn't end up accidentally throwing any more of that and healing my enemies. Good. Okay. So those melee guys dealt with. I don't know what's with the worms, but they're heading toward this guy, so I probably want to keep him away from them. So I'm assuming they're going to make him stronger. Either that or you can bring them back. Either way, not going to allow that to happen. Whatever that meant. Okay, that seems to work a little bit better. Okay, that doesn't seem to have been as bad a fight so far. Okay, so the core defender has multiple forms, but is all one being, technically. Okay. Yeah, no. No. No slavery. I was debating trying to buy them so that neither would die. But then the slavers would continue slaving. And that doesn't really... That doesn't sit well. Because in certain worlds and certain economies, that may be necessary. But given the fact that I don't have enough information to know that it's necessary in this world, I'm going to file it under it doesn't need to be. That's right, you keep running. He couldn't survive. He couldn't figure out the riddle of his own survival. Okay, I want to go over to Gamma Pier now that we've triggered that and see what new content we've opened up. If you see me narrowing my eyes off screen every now and then, it's because I'm looking at my activity feed because it keeps twitching weirdly. Like something happened, but nothing's actually happened. I think the UI just keeps changing the font size slightly or something. Ah, okay, he can merge nodes. That will actually be incredibly useful. It means I can save a lot of essence, because I need a lot less spaces. It does mean I need to pull all of my nodes out, though. Okay, the runes don't count, though. Okay. I thought they were all nodes collectively. So that was a mild waste of time to move all of those. Oh well. Thankfully the power of double-clicking exists. Actually, hang on. This is weaker. Give me this and give me the extra little bit of armor and stamina. I should probably have read what some of these stats do, though they're all fairly self-explanatory. Okay. That answers the one oddity there. I would like to get a new movement apparatus, because I'm assuming that means we'll be able to move either differently or much faster. Okay, what do you got for me now, Viticus? Okay, so there's a weird device he wants me to go look at. As long as he keeps giving me the matter cubes to go to these places, I don't mind following any ideas he looks at. Though I don't really know why he gives me the cubes and expects me to do it, rather than just doing it himself if we're always going to be able to do it. Probably just to make sure the player knows where the thing is. Okay. We have gone somewhere different. And someone is in danger. Oh, it's you jerks again. Which, I'm not gonna lie, these look uncannily like humans. These suited fellows. And my brain broke. Great. Don't worry, I didn't need a brain. I haven't been using it so far. Yep, they've got coffee. These must be people. Honestly, not that big a fan of coffee. Don't really understand the attraction. But I'm sure it tastes good to someone. This must be important. I can't do anything with it, but that looks important. It's got bright orange butterflies circling it. Trying not to give him a chance to fire at all. And that's why. Their guns really hurt. So now we don't have a heart again, too. So I guess I'm going back to the biomat after this fight. Which I probably should have went there before going here anyway. Because we probably could have made some new organs. Which might have prevented this very issue. But now we are once again organless. Really gotta fall back on my mantra. Fighting fair is for suckers. I have ranged weapons, I should be using them. Okay, the split that the glass knives do works when I hit an enemy bullet with them, too. I keep thinking these knives are a more finite resource than they are, because half the time they don't break, so you can just pick them back up anyway. Knock, knock. They put you in a really damn big prison. They must have been planning on having a lot of people in here. Probably too much information there, buddy. Huh. Okay, so he was given something by a stranger that protected him from the shift. Might have? No, I would assume he'd know who Dharma is, since Dharma's apparently been so important to this town, and he's lived here this whole time. It wouldn't make any sense for him not to know who Dharma is. So who is this guy? So he was probably disguised if he's so exceptionally ordinary that it's... Somebody being exceptionally ordinary would stand out by being so ordinary. Fair enough. If you could be anything you want to know what things are before you become them. Okay. Well, I think it might be a bit of an understatement to say they moved to the abyss, but they definitely inhabit it now. Okay, so he's going to need foundation shards too. And now we can repair our equipment. I don't think I'm going to bother repairing these Reaper Claws, though. They're kind of out of date at this point. It's good to know that we can repair it, though. Four medkits, 4 jars of essence, and some Amadin stilettos. Okay. And we may as well pop this open, too. Open the Omnimat. Okay. Ah, I can make my own consumables now. Okay. That's going to be incredibly helpful. Okay, see, game, you did me dirty there, game. You told me that the only thing rare minerals could be used for was selling. Why are they now suddenly important? I should have known better than to believe the info text, but it's still a dirty trick to tell you that it's fine to sell this and then have it be important later. It's a rusty sword situation all over again. And to those of you who know what I'm referencing with that, I'm sorry that you went through that too. Though really that applies in so many different places that it's a thing. It's a little bit short, but I think that'll do it for today, though. Still not feeling 100%. And don't really want to push it. But I do want to say thank you all for showing up, and I appreciate everybody who took the time to be here. I will hopefully do another stream tomorrow, though it will be much later in the day. Maybe probably somewhere in the realm of like 8 p.m. Eastern time, something like that. I'll theoretically post about it if I remember. Other than that, have a good night, everyone.